Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll. I am running point on this channel. This is your Alhambra, Monterey Park, November real estate update. Two very underrated neighborhoods on the east side. If you're looking for some value, you've been searching in Pasadena and Highland Park and Glendale and Silver Lake, and it's too unaffordable for you. Maybe Alhambra and Monterey Park are a good spot to start looking. They sit just south of Pasadena. We're going to get into everything that is important. If you are somebody who's searching or possibly a homeowner in those areas, we'll go through the current real estate numbers. We'll do month over month. We'll do year over year. End of the video, I'm going to break down a few homes that have caught my eye as we try and find you some value in this very tough real estate market. Let's go. First thing we're going to jump into is the current real estate numbers in Alhambra and Monterey Park. I do want to preface why I combine these two neighborhoods into the same video. First of all, logistically, they're right next to each other. Second of all, their numbers, their pricing, their averages, their days are very similar. I've been tracking these neighborhoods for forever, and their numbers come up consistently in the same ballpark. Obviously, I would never want to put two neighborhoods that have huge differentials, pair them together, add them together, but these two neighborhoods are very similar from the real estate perspective numbers. The third part is kind of that outlier perspective of what I look for when I'm dealing with neighborhoods in Los Angeles, which is schools, crime, and commercial real estate. So these two neighborhoods are very similar in those regards as well. Good schools, safe neighborhoods, and they both have a commercial real estate that makes it more attractive to homeowners. You can go to the restaurants, you can go to the grocery store, you can go to the coffee shops, and they check all of those boxes. So that's why we keep these two neighborhoods combined, because they are similar in all three respects there. Currently, 36 homes available for sale. 9 of those homes have seen price drops. So 25% of the homes on the market right now have seen price drops. Usually a price drop is a red flag in real estate, right? It means a home is either mispriced, best case scenario. Maybe there's something huge wrong with it that was found out during inspection or whatever the situation is. Maybe there's something going on negatively in that distinct neighborhood. Typically that can be crime, but those are not the normal scenarios that we're dealing with right now. We have around 7.5% interest rates. Inventory is extremely low. Buyers cannot afford to purchase homes. So those who are trying to sell are getting impatient as their home sits for 2 months and etc. They start dropping the prices. We see it on every neighborhood on the east side. I am telling you, the 30% price drops is just the way of the world right now on the east side of Los Angeles. Minimum price to get in the neighborhood, $769, $999. We're going to talk about that home at the end of the video and homes that have caught my eye. Our top end is $2.72 million. That home is a home that is familiar to us. If you're somebody who's been following along month after month, our average price very consistent. When we look at these neighborhoods, we're at 1.176, 559. When I look at Alhambra, Monterey Park, or even just to the east of them, which is San Gabriel as well, those are very consistent homes in the $1.1 million average price, which gives you some opportunity, some wiggle room, because if you look at these other neighborhoods like Los Feliz is 2.4 million, Silver Lake is 1.7 million, Pasadena north of 2 million. So these other places are getting extremely unaffordable, even from an average perspective. And these neighborhoods on kind of the south side of Pasadena have some potential as far as value goes long term and affordability for those of you who are grinding, trying to find homes. So 47 days is the average days on market. That's coming down a little bit. We saw it at 50 a couple months ago, 58 last month, and we're down to 47. We keep our eye on this because this kind of induces more price drops. When we get up to that 60-day on average, you start to see more and more homes making price drops. We had some neighborhoods go over 50% of the homes do price drops. So that's kind of the number, because essentially, if you're somebody who's trying to sell your house, once you get to that 2-month mark, that's usually kind of the breaking point for you to want to move on and get on with this house. So the only move you really have in a lot of perspectives, outside of a real estate agent doing the extra marketing, which many of them don't do, is to lower the price. So that's why we see that. We keep our eye on that number. If we take a quick peek into November of 2022, we did have 20 homes sell, 103% clip, meaning 3% on average over the list price. That's an appreciation number. That's kind of a marketing tactic. So it's a number that we keep our eye on. I'm going to get into more details of that just here in a moment as we look at last month's numbers for the two neighborhoods. Let's do that now. Last month's real estate numbers are always going to be very vital, especially if you're somebody who's searching right now, because what's most relevant is what's most recent. So what's happening in the market in these neighborhoods at this exact moment, because it can prepare you for what you're going to be dealing with. If you need help out in the neighborhoods, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. So in Alhambra, Monterey Park, last month in October, we had 25 homes sell. That ties the lowest we've seen in many, many months out in the neighborhood. So transactionally, things always slow down in the winter, but we just marked our low. So we'll see how that progresses into the next couple months. We do this every single month. So we'll see how December, January, February kind of play out. 99% as far as the clip goes, meaning on average it was 1% below list price. That comes with low transactions, right? It means there's not a lot of buyers making moves. So it went on average 1% below the list price. Typically, list prices are going to be a good, obviously, people know how to do comparative market analysis. That's where they kind of mark their homes initially. When you see on average that be lower than the list price, that's a sign that things are not hot and heavy when it comes to buyer demand. It's also a number I keep my eye on. It's one of the metrics that can give you kind of a sense if you're a homeowner in the area as far as, am I going to get good appreciation this year? It's not going to be a record year. If you've been owning prior to 2021, you are blessed as it is. But we're going to see a slow year as far as appreciation in the neighborhoods go as well. The minimum price sold last month was $630K. That sold exactly at the list price. We did have a high end of $2.686 million. That is an all-time high in Alhambra, Monterey Park. So big sale there. We had some top end. That's one of the hardest parts of the real estate industry right now, is any home basically above $2 million is having a hard time finding a lot of attraction. There's really not a lot of buyers who can afford to finance that at a 7+, 7.5, maybe even 8% interest rate. So the demand's not super high. We're seeing a lot more of the transactions that are going through everywhere on the east side on the lower end. Our average is 1.018, 420. That's the second straight month we had the neighborhoods above $1 million. Obviously, having the record sale in the neighborhood is a big factor towards that. But 2 straight months of this neighborhood being over $1 million. So that's a good perspective for the homeowners who are worried about the 99% that we just went over here in a minute ago. But we're keeping our eye on that. That's a great metric to get a good sense as far as the neighborhood's overall long-term projections. We've watched that every single month. 14 days on market is the average for the homes that sold. Nothing too crazy there. It's typically between 15 and 40. Being 14 tells me that when an attractive home does come available in Alhambra or Monterey Park, there are people who are searching, especially on the lower end. So you're somebody who's trying to get into these neighborhoods, you're trying to time the market. My advice is get with an agent. You're never going to make an offer that you're not comfortable with. So it is no fault to you to go out and start looking with an agent. The problem is if the home is attractive and it's updated and it comes onto the market, it can go very quick. When you see 14 days, that means there are homes of these 25 transactions, a good amount of them became available, were attractive, and went off the market, as far as getting a closed or pending deal within that first week of being available. A seller's dream, but you got to be ready and you got to be willing to put in those offers. You can't be waiting around and kind of, basically pedaling through the market in that regard. So if we look at October of 2022, we had 26 homes sell, 102% clip. So 2% on average above the list price, very typical there. That is only a 4% decline year over year, 26 to 25. No worries, we're seeing 30% declines in a lot of neighborhoods on the east side. So we're going to keep our eye on that as well. But speaking of keeping our eye on something, let's go check out homes that have caught my eye. For those of you who are new here, homes that have caught my eye, here's what we're going to get into. First of all, we're going to talk about the entry level. What's the floor look like to get into the neighborhood? Then we're going to do PK's top pick. That is always going to be a value play. I'm letting the numbers speak to me. I try and give you some information on a house that could be a good value, specifically important at a time like this, where if you are going to finance at a 7.5% interest rate, you need to find a home that has strong potential to appreciate, because you do not want to get yourself underwater on your loan, because it's a whole mess of problems that you don't want to deal with when you're purchasing a home for $700,000, $800,000, $900,000, $1 million, and that's how high your loan is. Then we're going to talk about the top end. What's the ceiling look like in the neighborhood? What's the most expensive home? And in the neighborhoods here in Alhambra and Monterey Park. So let's start things off with the entry level position. A little bit of housekeeping. I don't repeat homes. So if I did a home the month prior and it's still the lowest one, we're not going to repeat it. But October's home, which was 1025 Garfield, that is under contract. It was listed for $649,999. That was the lowest home in October. It's under contract. I'll keep you updated next month to see if that goes through. We have seen a lot of homes go under contract or pending and then lose it in escrow. It's just a reflection of rising rates and people getting qualified, months before they actually get their purchase in. That was the one that had barely any picks. We did like the comps. We thought it was maybe, based off the limited information as far as a quality perspective goes, we did anticipate that home could be worth up to $750K. I'll let you know what that sells at next month. Our current bottom dog right now is 637 West Floral Drive, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1272 square feet. It's listed for $769,999. Here's the numbers on it: $605 per square foot. We like that number. When we're below $1 million, we're in the mid 700s. We want the number between $400 and $700 per square foot. Then knows we're getting good bang for the buck. 605 we are happy with. The lot size is 4803. I will give that just above average. Typically in this price range, you're seeing 3,500, 3,800. So we got a little extra space with this home. 4803 here. It actually sits right by East LA College, if you're familiar with that. But I don't mind the value. I think this home has some good value if you're looking on the lower end. There was a home that sold that was a 2-1, 839 just down the block. So 1 less bedroom, 1 less bathroom, 400 less square feet, and it sold for $775, and we're at $769 as far as the list price goes. So that kind of tells me obviously there's some value here. They probably priced it hoping to get some strong buyers, but we'll see how things go with that. But there are some value at the current price point. If you take, what is normally the number, 2-3% out here in the Alhambra Monterey Park area, I'm anticipating this home goes closer to 8. So I still like the value on that regard. But speaking of value, let's jump over to PK's top pick. A little bit of house cleaning. The September home, which was 2928 Pyrenees, that's still active. It was listed for 1.198. It's moved down to 1.1. That was the one with the open floor plan, had amazing comps. Go back to the September real estate update for Alhambra Monterey Park. Look for PK's top pick near the end of the video if you want to get more information on that, but I still think some value in that home. Also, October 2029 South 3rd Street. That home has been canceled now. I'm not exactly sure what happened. That was the one that was listed for $950K. We saw the desperation with the seller in this home. We thought there were some opportunities. They were even marketing the perspective of buying down the interest rate as one of the nicer homes in the neighborhood in that part. You can check that out in October, but it's currently canceled. I anticipate they're making some minor adjustments, or, like I said, we saw that seller was desperate to make a move just based off the verbiage, based off the marketing of the home. So we thought that could effectively be some value. Maybe their timeline ran out and they're just holding on right now, and they got a whole new game plan. But I'll keep my eye on that, keep you updated there. But the new top pick for this month for November is 740 Divina Vista Street. It got some value here. It's only a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 1010 as far as the square feet. It's a small little house, little starter home for you and your significant other, your partner. $878K, $999. It's a $95K price drop, so it's listed for just around $970. We're at $878 now, which shows that, once again, another person who's probably been sitting for their home for a while, they're ready to move off it. They do a big price drop, $95,000. $870 per square foot, a little bit higher than I would necessarily like, but you're just not going to get a home much cheaper than this in this area. 8404 is the lot size. That is ginormous for a 1,000 square foot home. So good lot size there. You're buying the land. The land's the most valuable aspect when you're buying anything in Southern California. So you're getting good land size there. It's a completely updated home. Classy little joint here. I love it. The updates and everything perspective from there. It's been listed since March 29th. So this seller is ready to make the move. And if I'm you and this kind of, I've been thinking about buying a home, it's just me and your partner, or even just you yourself, and you want to get in but you can't afford it at these rates, This might be a great starter home. It gives probably a good investment home. This seller's ready to make that move. So you might be able to come in, sweep in, maybe even for $850K and snag this one off the market, get into a very solid neighborhood that has strong potential to appreciate and make it the first home and make that move. So let's finish things off with the top pick in the neighborhood. Did want to mention September's top dog was 1121 North Hidalgo. It is still the top dog in the neighborhood right now. They've done their active 630K price drop down to 2.720. Still would be a record. Like I mentioned earlier, 2.686 is the record all time in Alhambra or Monterey Park. So they're still trying to set the record. But we've had no sales ever over 3 million. So we'll see if this 630K price drop monstrous brings in some new opportunities for them. But they're still sitting. The October top dog, we went one tier down with 745 Mateo Drive. That one is also still active. We had to go all the way down to 1.35. And that gives you a perspective about the neighborhood, right? We had a 2.68 sale last month. The top dog right now is 2.72. But last month, the next highest was 1.3. So there's just not a lot of $2 million, $2.5 million homes in these neighborhoods, prospectively. But that home on Mateo is still available. I got nothing good to say about it. The pics were terrible. The description was terrible. The pricing didn't make any sense. So that home's going to probably sit for quite some time. I'm not about it. But we're going to skip over the Hidalgo Street. We're going to go to the next highest home right now because we're not going to be repetitive. And we're going to talk about 2307 Rogers Drive. 4 bedrooms, 5 baths, 3270 square feet, listed for 1.95. So just under $2 million on this home. 596 per square foot. I love that number. When you get up into like the mid millions, 2 million, you typically will see $1,000 per square foot. So we're still getting 596 here, which I like a lot. 6390 is the lot size. Pretty solid lot. It's a gated community, extra safety for the family. It was built in 2017. That is incredible. There's not a lot of land to build on in Los Angeles in general. Most homes in Los Angeles were built in the 1920s, 1930s, maybe even 1950s. So we'll take a 2017 home all day long. It's got a gourmet kitchen. The views here are incredible. Another classy home. I like both these homes, the PK's top pick. I think all these homes that I've kind of went through here from an entry level, from a top perspective, and of course, PK's top pick, got good value. I like the home. There's some classy joints. So I love this neighborhood. I think there's some strong value here. I think if you're somebody who's really been frustrated and you want to purchase a home, but you can't afford some of these other neighborhoods on the east side that have extraordinary prices, even from an average perspective, I really think you should take some peeks into Alhambra and Monterey Park because some value in the neighborhood. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value. We will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind.
Yeah.